Here are 5 things I wish I knew when starting a candle company. If you're new here, my name is Jordan and I'm the founder of Candle Brand Mastery, and I teach people how to make and sell candles. I've also been running Declutter Candle Company that has almost 18,000 followers on Instagram, and we've been able to generate 6 figures in revenue while keeping it profitable. Now, before we get into the video, I just want to say, if you're looking to join over 180 candle makers and business owners to network and learn from, be sure to check out the Candle Brand Mastery Academy, where you'll have access to the community and access to all our courses that range from email marketing to private label, wholesale, and Instagram marketing. You'll have your own inner circle of motivated business owners and candle makers that you can run ideas to and learn from. And I'll also be able to review your website and teach you how to make and sell candles. Now back to the video. The first thing I wish I knew is, your product niche should be your #1 priority. You should spend the most time in this area, which is right before you launch, because you want to make sure that your idea is amazing. The truth is that some candle ideas are just worse than others, and they don't do as well on social media. I recommend anyone that wants to start their own candle brand to have an idea that does well on social media. In my previous videos, I talked about realistic food candles that do exceptionally well on social media, and also mica powder candles and coffee candles. Those 3 categories always do so well on social media. Compare that to the average candle that everyone's making that's just a container candle with some wax in it and a wick. It's not going to capture as much attention as a realistic food candle can. And that is just a cold hard truth. If you spend more time in the research phase during your product niche research, just make sure that it has a lot of evidence on social media that it will do really well. If you can crack that problem in the very beginning, then you can save a lot of headache later on, because you won't need to market as hard to sell your candles. The second thing I wish I knew before starting a candle brand is to understand that it's a labor of love. It's a lot of work with a lot of different skill sets needed. Now, just reading off the list here, these are all the skills that are needed to run a successful candle company. You have production, product development, website development, merchandising, photography, videography, social media management, media buying if you want to run paid ads, making ad creative if you want to run paid ads, email marketing, fulfillment, accounting, editing videos, editing photos, wholesale, private label, and that's not even all of it. There are other things that you need to do with running a candle company as well. It's just a lot for one person. In order to counteract this point, if I were starting over again, I would consider finding a co-founder to split the task for you and finding someone with complementary skill sets so that you can split half of the pie that you're good at and they can do the other half that they're good at. This way, you guys don't overlap activities and you're probably less likely to get into a fight anyway. The third thing I wish I knew before starting a candle company is that markets are extremely tiring but very essential to your brand. Now, we at Declutter have done over 200 markets in the last 2 years, so we have a little bit of experience with this. Markets are just tiring, but in the right season, they can be very lucrative. It's mainly the labor part where you have to carry the candles because candles are heavy, and you have the tent you have to bring, the chair, the table. If you're running solo, you have to do everything by yourself. Here are the pros and cons that I've laid out for markets. So the pros are that you get instant sales. All you got to do is set up your tent and your table, and you can start talking to customers, and if they like it, they'll buy. You don't have to run paid ads. You don't have to post anything on social. And it's nice to just capture audience and attract them so that you can get into the sales process. Another pro is that you get to talk to customers face to face and start building a fan base and start building a community. You also get immediate feedback from the new scents that you're launching so that you can use markets as a test run, so that if you launch 2 or 3 scents and it doesn't really work out during the markets, then maybe rethink about scaling that into your email list. Market fees are generally very affordable, so staying profitable in markets is very easy. And finally, it can be very lucrative during the fall and holiday season. The most that we've ever made during the market was during late fall, and we made over $2,700 in a single market within a 6-hour time span, and we kept a little bit more than half of that as profits. The cons of doing markets are that it's labor intensive and tiring, especially during the summers when it's hot, and it's a hit or miss in certain cities, so that I know Miami's not a great market scene. Dallas, where we are, is an alright market scene and it's not bad. And I know that New York City has a great market scene that has very lucrative markets. And the last con about markets is that when it's slow, it feels like a waste of time because you spend all this time getting the inventory ready, getting the market set up, and then when it's slow, it's not like you can do anything else there. You still have to be attentive to your market in case you do have a customer, but it can feel like you're just sitting around wasting time waiting for the customers to walk by. The fourth thing I wish I knew before I started my candle company is knowing when to hire. So as we talked before, candles are a very laborious industry. So you have to make the candle, you have to market the candle. So if you're running this solo, there's only so many hours in a day that you can dedicate to that stuff. So knowing when to hire to produce your candles and to fulfill your candles is key, and this might turn someone off because they might want to start a candle company because they love making candles. But what if I told you that your best efforts should actually be geared towards the marketing portion of it and not the candle making portion of it? Because you as a founder should be the best salesman for your company, and you should actually make candles if you want to grow it and scale it. And the fifth and final things that I wish I knew before starting a candle company is knowing your numbers. So understanding what your gross margins are, what you're going to charge, how much it costs, and making sure that you have enough money at the end of the day to fund your lifestyle and to fund your project. Understanding margin isn't as intuitive as people might think, because when someone starts a candle business, they want to immediately start making candles and selling it, and they might be okay if they're earning a couple dollars at the end. But later on, as you scale, you have equipment to buy, software to buy, different testing supplies. The list goes on and on. You have a lot of expenses that are coming your way, and that's even before hiring labor out. And as you scale even more, you have warehouses to pay for and retail spots to pay for. And that's all rent that's coming out of your bottom line. So I always recommend that you have at least a 3x multiple of what your product costs are so that you can charge appropriately. So that when you do have those expenses coming in, you're not surprised and you're actually able to pay for that stuff. Now, if you want to learn more about how to scale your candle business, you can join our school community. It's only $10 a month, and you can access all our courses and guides that'll help you take your business to the next level. As you can see here, we have over 180 members right now, and you can network and learn from each other as well. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.